Welcome to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast, where you'll learn all the best tips, tricks, and practical techniques for building the confidence levels you've always wanted. With inspiring interviews, real-life examples, and game-changing insights, this podcast is for women who know that mastering the skill of confidence is one of the most important things they'll ever do.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast. I'm Anastasia, one half of RiSe Women. And today we'll be doing something a little different. Today I'll be interviewing the other half of RiSe Women, my very cool business partner, Jodie Clarke. Say hi, Jodie.
Hello.
So,
I've never been interviewed before like this.
I know, it's going to be very exciting.
It's nice on my own podcast.
I know. You're a special guest today. So for those of you who are new to this podcast and to our community, Jodie is actually the biological mother of RiSe Women, right? So this business...
I've never, ever heard it said like that.
She has
before.
3 children. This business was her baby, and whilst it may have started many, many years ago, just as an idea and a simple concept to help women with their confidence, it's just evolved into something so much more now. So firstly, Jodie's the author of Pumped, Confidence Techniques That Will Have You Standing Taller in the World, which is a book that was literally sitting on her shelf for years until I forced her to publish it because it was just so good.
Like 10 years.
Yes. She's also a speaker who loves being on stage and speaking to an audience about her favorite topic, which, as we all know, is confidence. She's a killer confidence coach, as so many of her clients will attest to, because I swear to you, she has helped so many women change their lives. It is crazy. And we get testimonials from them all the time. And she's also my business partner in crime, which is awesome because we share a great love of stilettos, coffee, and sparkly things.
We do, among a few other things. But yes,
they're our
priorities.
3 core. Like if there was nothing else left in the world, stilettos, coffee, and sparkly things, we're good.
We're good.
But today our goal is to help you to get to know Jodie just a little bit better. We want you to know what drives her, what personal experiences have gotten her to where she is today. But most importantly, we want to get all that great stuff that she knows about confidence out of her head and into yours. Because I'm telling you, there is a treasure trove of information in there that you really want to be able to access. So let's get into it.
And some
Jodie.
stuff you don't want to access, maybe.
Yeah, we'll leave that stuff alone. Welcome to your podcast.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for having me on my podcast.
I know. I'm really
yours
excited.
And mine. It's ours.
No, I mean, it's yours, like we're interviewing you. This is all about you. Mm-hmm. It's going to be exciting. So let's get right into it. Why don't you start with telling us a bit about yourself, your family, and your background?
Okay, so I am married. I've been married just over 14 years, just over 14 years. I have 2 children, which we talk about, just come up a few times in the podcast. Yep. My daughter's in high school and my son is in primary school. Plus, I'm the dog mama of 2 very cute little dogs. And we've got a new one because we've just rescued a little one. So Evie and Heidi are my other 2. So I do have 4 children. Yep. And plus I was never a dog woman. Yes, plus 5 RiSe women. I was never a pet person until I got a dog, and then I've gone really over to the dark side.
We have 2 dog mascots in the office. Every once in a while they just walk in.
They do.
Check out what we're doing and walk out.
I live in Sydney, and, I've been working from home and working in this business for... oh my goodness, it's scary to say, but it's coming up to 20 years. There was time off in between to have kids and do those sorts of things, but yes, it's been a long time since I've sort of been doing this work. And I really I grew up in the hospitality industry, and I completed a marketing management degree at uni, really for the sole purpose of going into hotel management, which I always wanted to do. I loved it. And I did work. I worked in, sort of really big hotels around the world in reservations and conference management. And that actually took me to, which a lot of people probably wouldn't know, that I actually lived in Scotland for 4 years.
Yeah, too cold.
It was cold.
I'm sure it's beautiful. But
it was cold. It was beautiful. And it is cold, yes. Yeah. And well, more than just being cold, they don't have summer. They just don't have summer as we know it.
Not a fan.
Summer's like one weekend in August that they get, that they reach 25 degrees. But from that, I'd done a lot of traveling from that from that point as well. So when I returned back to Australia in 2000, and it was in 2001 that I actually found coaching. And, that as we've mentioned on a previous podcast, I was retrenched from the hotel industry when we had September 11 and in New York. And from that, I actually set up my business. I was already doing my coach training. So that was sort of like the catalyst that moved me on to this new life, this new role, this whatever. And now I work, full-time in RiSe, obviously around juggling kids and all the rest of it. I do a little bit of contract work building websites, as you do.
Jodie's actually built our website.
I built our website, and then I've
go
helped
over and have a look because it's awesome.
I've helped a couple of friends build their websites, which I just really enjoy doing. It's sort of almost like a creative outlet for me. Yep. I don't know, what else can I tell you? I manage my kids' soccer team, as you do.
You don't.
I'm a red addict, as you know. It's everywhere. And I love big silver earrings and statement jewelry pieces, and obviously,
which I also know.
Yes, you know that. So, and
Jodie
obviously,
will be sitting here with like the most casual outfit and just chilling, and there's like big silver stars hanging off her ears.
I love
the
big
best
statement earrings.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Very
That's
cool.
A little bit about me and my background, I guess.
All right, so let's get a bit deeper into it then. So tell me, even though I can kind of see it, tell us all what's on your vision board right now.
My vision board. Well, I've got to say, I am pretty hopeless at doing vision boards. I get all inspired and cut out pictures and then it just never really gets updated.
It's a deconstructed vision board.
It's a
it lives all over our walls.
It's pictures sort of pinned up around. But I really want to go to that restaurant in the Greek islands.
Yeah.
That's on top of the cliff in Santorini, and I do have the name of it somewhere, and I don't know what that is, but it's overlooking the sea. I just one day want to go to and sit at that table, and that. So that's on
Ladies, stay tuned. One day we will be recording a podcast.
Yes,
wouldn't
that be great? Wouldn't that be great? I'd love to be a New York Times bestseller.
Sure.
So haven't quite got the which book it will be or whether it's a new book, and we want to do that legitimately because we know some people pay to be New York Times bestsellers, and that's not what we want to do, but legitimately have put something out into the world that is a New York Times bestseller.
Book. Yeah.
And I would love, the other thing on my vision board, I would love a pair of Sarah Jessica Parker shoes.
Oh, so gorgeous.
I visited that store in Las Vegas when we were there a couple of years ago, and it's an amazing store.
Yeah,
the only trouble is I do have quite large feet, and I'm not sure the points on her shoes are actually, but I will find something. You know what? Even if I actually only had a pair as artwork on
I'll wear them for
I will
you.
put them on a shelf. No, just to look
really.
at. No,
get them in my size and
no,
I'll
you
wear
have to
them
get
for
your
you.
own. You can get your own. I'd be quite happy with just a pair to look at on the
she's pretty
on
amazing.
my shelf. But they're my vision board
Cool.
things at the moment.
That's very cool. So tell me, just let's start getting into the topic of confidence.
Yes,
now. Now
let's
that we
do
know
that.
a bit more about you, what does confidence or being a confident woman actually mean to you?
Okay, so I think for me, it's really about just being able to be myself, like speak my mind, just say what I want to say, and just being able to be self-expressed, like be who I want to be. I'm bold. I like offbeat things. I love glitter. I just want to be fully self-expressed and enjoy being me and feel comfortable being me, and sort of lose that bit about what will people think if I wear this or do this or wear. And I have practiced that over the years, and it's taken time to go, no, I want to wear this, so who cares what people think?
Yeah.
But just in general, and I'll tell you a funny story, even when actually I was living in Scotland, and it was the 90s.
Right.
And the Spice Girls released their new album, which wasn't a CD in those days.
Yes, it was.
And oh my God, I wanted the CD, but I was so nervous about letting anyone know that I wanted the Spice Girls CD, right? That I remember walking into the CD shop, because they had CD shops in those days, and saying to the guy, probably some cool, funky guy at the counter, and I know I had it in my hand and I went up to buy it, and I was like, and I said to him, and I'd constructed this whole...
Like, this is for my niece.
Yeah, I did.
You did not.
I did. I said exactly that. I said, is this their latest album? Because my niece wanted it. I said exactly that, Anastasia, because I was too...
Just embarrassed.
Unconfident to actually just claim my stake in the world.
Yeah.
And I remember that very clearly, because I walked out. I mean, he couldn't have given two hoots who I was buying.
Yeah.
Or,
and he probably wouldn't care. It's cool to be
I'd
confident.
made up this whole big thing about this anyway. But I remember it very clearly, because I did walk out going, that was so stupid. Like what? Like,
it's disempowering, isn't it, to not own it?
Not own it.
Yeah.
And, I've learned a lot of things, as we go, as I've gone through the years, to just pull myself up and go, that was dumb. I didn't need to do that. Like, I just didn't need to do that. But I just, I think confidence, and what I want confidence, when we talk about being a confident woman to our clients or our community.
Yeah.
It's about allowing them just to be who you are and stand up for that. Like, stand up for what you're into or who you are, and being individual, or just, and essentially just liking yourself. Like, I think it's just to feel comfortable in your own skin, to be able to feel comfortable being being you, just being comfortable to go, yeah, this is what I like, and this is what I'm into, and this is how I'm going to dress today, and this is, I do this job, and this is what I am.
Without all the inhibitions that we
But
pile
also
on
being
top.
able to stand up for yourself. So, I know we coach a lot of women in sort of corporates and things like that who just can't, who feel like they're not really being able to even show who they are and stand up in that environment, or so many instances where just they don't get to feel or stand up for who they are and what they know, and obviously we've heard about imposter syndrome and all those different things that go on. But at the end of the day, do you like yourself? Do you feel confident and comfortable in your own skin, and just
and have faith in yourself?
Just
a belief that you're capable and you're competent.
Can you
and
stand
you're
up?
enough.
Can you stand up for yourself and say, even being able to? I know we found a lot of work around helping women just speak their mind, speak their voice, say what they actually want to say, without editing it or worrying about how it's going to be perceived. Just being that. That's I guess that's in a nutshell of what I'd hope.
No filters.
I'd hope everyone, have empathy and understanding, but just in the most part of your life, you are just comfortable with who you are, and you are able to show that to the world.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, what confidence, being a confident woman would mean to me, and that I hope, our clients get from the work that we do.
Fair enough. I mean, there's power in that authenticity, I guess, because it's hard to keep a ruse up, and it's hard to maintain a persona that is not really you, right? If you're always trying to be someone else or trying to show something that's not you.
Oh, for sure. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I've often used that like a metaphor, like it's sometimes like trying to keep a beach ball underwater when you're just trying to hold down who you really are. It can be exhausting, and not to be able to show who you really are can be really disempowering for women too, or disempowering for everybody. But
it chips away at your confidence.
It chips away, absolutely, because you don't get to step into the person you want to be and know who you are. So
that gives us a bit of an insight into how you feel about confidence. But tell us a bit more about what the driving force behind RiSe Women actually was.
Yes. Well, right. Look, as I said before, so when I came back from overseas and I was working in hotels again, and I'd been in the hotel industry for a lot of years by that point. And anyone who's ever worked in the hotel or hospitality industry, look, it's very addictive and it's such a fun, amazing industry, but it's exhausting and it's underpaid and overworked and strange hours and definitely anyway, it's you have to love it to want to participate. And you know, for many, I think I worked in it for over 15 years. I loved it. Loved it. But I was sort of getting to a point of, you know, I guess questioning where I was going to go in the industry and
what was next.
That's right. But then I actually discovered coaching at that point, and I remember going to an information night about becoming a coach and sitting in that room, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that that is what I was supposed to do and who I was supposed to be. Like,
That's very cool.
something just clicked that I was like, oh, I got it. Like it was like that insight.
Arrived,
so it was like everything I'd ever done and every lesson I'd learned up until that point was for that point.
That's crazy.
It was like it was like the serendipity of, oh, I got this now. It's very clear to me where my future was headed. So I started doing my course. And as we said, I was retrenched and then really used that catalyst to set up my own business and do coaching. Yeah. And almost as I started coaching and working with people, and I coached a lot of women. I did coach men too at that time, but it was coaching.
Broader coaching, right?
Oh yeah. But pretty much every single one of my clients had a confidence goal. So
a common thing.
Whatever they were doing, whether they were moving in their career or building a business or you know, all sorts of things, finding a relationship. Yeah. The underlying thing that was always missing was this confidence. And I really started to like piece this sort of thing together to go, they're just missing this really key foundation of their confidence is like, and it was like they had to almost get that part before they could
move on to anything
take
else.
the next part. Before you can get a relationship, they needed that confidence in themselves. Before they could climb the corporate ladder or build that business, they needed the confidence in themselves. They needed
starts from that, doesn't
that's
it?
right. That was this and that's when I started. You know, we started as we use now. Confidence is the foundation, from which you build your life on, and all those sorts of things. But because what I found was because I was showing up with confidence when I did presentations or meeting or anything like that, I realized that I was starting to attract clients that sort of was in this mindset of I want what she's got. Yeah. So I was attracting clients, and then, you know, as we've talked about before and we've talked about in the book and stuff, I started at presentations getting this conversation about, oh, you're so lucky to have confidence. And I used to think, oh my goodness, I work so hard
that's
on
not nice.
my confidence that I realized that was the missing piece for people, that they thought there was some sort of genetic code that they didn't get.
They didn't realize it was accessible.
Well, they didn't, they didn't want to put the work in to actually having it. So I started through my coaching, I started really teaching my clients the techniques and the information and the knowledge that I had that supported them in doing that. And you know what? It goes back to when I sort of said about, you know, there was this point of everything sort of led to this, you know, I realized as a teenager, my mother was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Yeah. And as I talk about in my book and that was sort of in the 80s, and she went on a real strong path of trying to heal herself and working out. She sort of pieced together, yes, she was doing all the medical stuff, but she was really piecing together at that point. And, you know, there was a lot of stuff coming. I mean, Deepak Chopra was around and Louise Hayes and all this information about healing your own life. And we just started to learn about how powerful the brain is and how thoughts and all these things have on our on our body and, you know, if we keep anger down and the damage that causes. So as a teenager, you know, I was reading books about mindset and fear and you know,
other girls were reading Dolly.
Yes, well, I just, you know, I got onto a path because my mum was on that path, and it was and I found it fascinating, like truly, truly fascinating.
That's so fortunate to be exposed to that at such a crucial, transformative time of your life,
Absolutely.
Right?
And it was like, and you know, I started practicing and doing some of the techniques in these books, you know, at 15, 16, and they worked. Like they started, you know, I wasn't in the popular group at school. I was low in confidence in certain areas. I would just, you know, I carried a bit of weight. I wasn't that, you know, that crash hot on like I didn't feel great about myself all the time.
Yeah.
And I started to learn techniques that changed that. And that, you know, that was eye-opening. And I think that, you know, again, I get, you know, it was like, you know, whatever, 15 or so years later that I, you know, then I found coaching, and it was
but
like
the foundations were there.
all that
the
information that
there.
I've learned. You know, since then I've always read, as you know, I've always got a pile of 15 or so personal development books or book
hanging around.
That's right. I had that thirst for this sort of knowledge now, and that you know from 15. So you know that not many people sort of get exposed to that at that age. So I really think that was such a benefit to me, because as I started coaching, there was all this background of that I had all this knowledge that I started to share with clients, and then it just, you know,
it evolves.
It evolved from there, and then I started doing presentations about confidence, and
well, then you start catering to a need, right? So you may be coaching because that's what that particular client wants, but someone else wants you to speak to a group.
Yes,
so you do that, and the business just grew from there.
That's right. It just became So then this confidence thing was, I really started to identify how much it was missing as I said, that foundation. If you don't have confidence, it is really challenging to do anything.
To do anything else. That's so true.
To do anything. So, you know, and then when as we started teaching these confidence techniques that obviously we still teach today, just the changes that made in people's lives.
And also in ours, though, because the more we
for sure.
teach and the more we want to offer our clients, the more we learn, right? We're always learning new techniques ourselves. And sometimes we do things and we don't even realize they're techniques. Then we go, oh, well, that worked. So let's incorporate that into. So it's constantly,
absolutely.
It's a constant evolution of the business and of us, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm learning off my clients all the time. And so many times I get a new client and I start working with them and I think, oh, yes, this is an area I need to work on actually. We'll take
that funny
to the next level.
It's
here we go.
Mutual business relationship.
Yeah, but we're learning all the time. But this concept of learning the techniques around managing fear and how to, you know, not worry about what other people think and how to build your confidence and, you know, how to change that negative voice in your head. Like all these
game-changing
foundational things are really key to really people doing anything, whatever they want in their lives.
Yeah, that's so true. So what do you think the best thing about working in your business is then?
The best thing about working in RiSe?
Yeah. Other than me, of course.
Other than you, of course. You are pretty good to have around, by the way. Look, I'd probably say just like I love coaching with coaching and being part of our, obviously we've got our private group for our course, but and we're in there, you know, getting close to the women and hearing the stories of the stuff that they're changing in their lives, but probably just working with positive, motivated women who are really ready to step in and create their life. Like by the time they get to us, or by the time they've made a commitment to even enroll in the course or commit to a coaching series, they're ready. They're ready. And
they're
even
fired up.
I was coaching a lady the other day, and it was only her second session, and she said, oh my God, Jodie, I can't even believe how much has changed after just doing
From
one
one to
session.
another.
But I sort of said to her, that's because by the time she contacted me to do coaching, she'd stepped in to say, enough's enough, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like, and that shift in her,
It's a powerful place to start.
it's a powerful place to start. So it's fabulous to be able to be at that point with that person, that they're like, you know what, I'm sick of losing that promotion. Enough's enough. I'm going to make the change.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be this person anymore. It's time for a change. Let's make this happen. I'm ready to learn.
Yeah.
And you just work with, you know.
I can see it when I come into the office and Jodie's just gotten off a coaching call and she is buzzing.
I am buzzing.
I cannot tell you.
I am.
Yeah, because
they're
that energy is electric and it's contagious.
It is.
feed
But
off each other.
that's the best thing. I mean, I get that buzz, but I also just, because I'm seeing them make significant changes in their life. And, you know, one of the best parts is they usually stay within our close-knit community. Like there's in our, in our groups, and, people are still contacting me that they've been coaching, they've been clients or on our course for years.
Yeah.
And they're still coming back for the one-off session, and I hear what they're up to, and then they need that sort of kick butt
We get to
part
know
to go to
them.
the next level.
Yeah.
And it's so great to just anyway, that's the exciting part of
Well,
running
it's
the
great to see
business.
that it's sustainable, right? So we give them these techniques and we give them a new perspective and a way of thinking, and you feed off their positivity and their motivation that they've come to you with to create this new, new looking life for them.
Yeah, but
and they do sustain it and they can
Absolutely.
maintain it, and that's why they stay close, because they understand that this is an ongoing thing.
And actually, the client that sort of said, I can't believe, how much has changed already. She'd gone and watched some of the videos of the course, because, we, with our coaching series, we, you get access to our course as well to get some of the, and it was funny. She was saying, I actually, because we explain all on the, the confidence is something you can learn and master. It's not the genetic gene pool. It's not lucky. And she said to me, actually, I was that person, Jodie. Like,
That's
whatever.
right.
But she said, but now I know that I can't unknow it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the power of some of the work we do is in our, is once they know some of this information, or, even stuff that I've done, once I read that in a book and it's the aha, it's that insight, I can't ever unknow that again.
Nope.
So
And then everything you do from that point onwards is done with that filter.
That's right. So once they know that they have the power over their confidence, and it's
everything.
it changes everything.
Yeah.
And she felt so empowered because what she felt was something that other people had that was unattainable for her, all of a sudden became possible for her.
Yeah. That's so
and
amazing.
everything started to change. So it is like, that's the best part about working in this business.
Yeah, we've gotten to meet so many amazing women, and it's just so great to have that ongoing relationship with them, and we see the things that they're achieving, and it's just fun. They're really great women.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, so let's flip it. What is the most challenging thing about working in this business? Oh, other than me, of course.
Social media drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But look, I guess the most the hardest bit is, I'll be honest, is seeing and hearing and being a part of knowing the truly negative and destructive things that women say to themselves.
Yeah.
And some who really struggle to give that up. Like they struggle to see how amazing they are. Like they've been conditioned, or they've caused created this habit for such a long time that it's so hard for them to break. But, as part of that coaching relationship or whatever, I hear, coaching's a very powerful and intimate relationship that's created, and, there's a lot of trust that's built, and the things that I hear, that what they say to themselves,
so confronting,
is truly terrible. It's truly horrible.
They'd never say it to someone they loved.
No.
But they say it to themselves.
That's
which
right.
By default means that there's no true love there for themselves.
No,
and that's
well,
really sad.
That's right. But I guess the hardest part for me is sometimes I get really frustrated that smart, successful, amazing women are causing themselves and sometimes their families, because they speak negatively about the world and about themselves, the unnecessary damage that they do. and
Yeah.
they cannot see what I can see. They cannot, and they just even sometimes it's frustrating because they sometimes even struggle to swap over to being able to access that view of themselves. And there's just no need for them to be that destructive or speak that negatively about themselves. There's just no need.
But I guess the fact that obviously there's something that's triggered in them, because the fact that they're with you in a coaching session means that even though they're having trouble breaking that habit, they have gotten to a point where they realize it needs to be broken.
It
and
is.
then they just need help with the process, right?
That's right. But it takes work.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
sometimes that's scary, and they need to change things, and that's scary and whatever. And, you know, sometimes it does take longer than usual. But again, I don't think there's anything you're always moving forward, even whatever. So even if it's small changes,
it still changes.
It still changes, and it's still great. It's still it still all makes a difference to them. But, you know, I have coached some truly amazing women who are like at the top of their industry, like just. And the stuff they still say to themselves, it's like
so sad, isn't it?
I'm just like, oh my goodness, if you knew what I could see, like if you could see what I could see, like you just wouldn't do that to yourself. But so I guess that's, you know, apart from social media,
which we both hate,
because that's has its days, the consistency of it, and you know, getting one like on your post that you spent 20 minutes writing. Apart from that, that's the most frustrating thing about, or the hard part about working in this business. But
fair enough.
The good offsets the bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
As it usually does.
Speaking of good, let's lighten this up a bit.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about working with your business partner? You know,
oh,
that
as
chick,
in you.
Anastasia? Yeah. Tell me, now that we've got
you want some
so many
smoke
people
blown
listening.
up you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. The best thing about working with you.
Yeah.
Well, I love that you write all the important stuff, because you're the wordsmith of the partnership.
I do love writing.
I love that you read all the legal documents that we get sent, or that we have to tick off or sign, because I don't want to do legal stuff, and you're so good at that.
But yeah, it's there.
You know what? I guess just being in a partnership is so powerful, especially with the right person, which I think you are, by the way.
I know. It's good to have a sounding board, isn't it?
Yeah, being able to share the journey, being able to share the challenges, being able to share the wins, being able to just bounce ideas, you know.
Work through the challenges.
I'm a big thinker, and then you go, right, so let's put that into a plan. Like, it's having that, you know, I guess that partnership that, and we knew from the very early stages that we complement each other,
because we're so very different.
We have so, and it's very clear what our roles are in the business, and so I think that works well, and I just, you know, I enjoy the time that we spend together to balance off the time that when we're working alone on the business. So
I can understand that. There's always so much more motivation and high energy when we work together.
Yeah.
And I really admire and almost feel sorry for people who do it on their own, because it must be so hard to maintain those energy levels and that motivation. Yeah. When you've got no one to bounce your ideas off. No one who's as invested in what you're doing as you are.
Yeah, I mean, you can join network group and you can have business master. I mean, there are things that people do to support that, but not like this relationship. Yeah. So don't go anywhere, please, because otherwise
I'm not,
because I don't want to read legal documents.
Though I may after I ask the next question. Okay, so that was lovely. Thank you very much. What is? Be honest. I may switch off my mic or my headphones for a bit, but what is the worst thing about working with your business partner?
You can't ask that.
Yeah, I totally am.
Look, I don't know whether there's really anything too bad.
I could think of a couple.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh.
How much do you love it when I correct your spelling?
Well, yes, that's annoying. Well, look, it's not annoying. It's just I think I feel like I disappoint you that I'm still a consistently bad speller.
It's not disappointing. I'm amazed sometimes.
Oh, I know, because I'm pumping out. It's usually on social media, and I'm pumping it out at some ungodly hour.
High volume, yeah.
Probably the only other thing that's annoying that sometimes I just want to actually have one of those good old I'm giving up everything whinge days, whinge fest, and you don't.
I won't let her do it.
You don't buy into that a lot, so I lose. I have to sort of.
She just wants to have a whinge.
Yeah, you force me to sort of get over stuff pretty quickly, or when I'm like, it's all too hard. You like, oh, stop your
Next.
carry on. Let's move on because you just write the
Okay.
So
all right, I'm going to hang around. I didn't mind that.
Okay,
So that was cool.
Well, that's good to know.
All right, let's get back to you. I want you to tell me, when are you the most confident version of yourself? What does that look
Ooh.
like?
Look, I've practiced in many different areas, so I think I hope in quite a few areas of my life, I would say that I'm confident, and I've worked hard on all different areas of my life, whether it's social or what have you, to make sure that I'm expressing me and doing that. But you know what? I used to say, well, and still do say, but I've said before that when I'm on stage delivering a keynote is like I feel the most me.
That's when you're the bomb.
Well, that's when I just feel like that's my place in the world.
Yeah.
Like I'm in flow. I'm there.
Comfortable.
It's whatever. And when I can see that the audience like are getting it, that are getting like aha moments, like I can see like nods, whatever, and that I'm causing that positive change in their life, which happens in coaching too, but when it's to a room full of people and there's engagement and there's just, they get it. And I know that it's because I've said something that is like that they can't unhear again.
It'll stick.
It's something that will be a memorable aha moment that will make a positive change.
And we've had that. We've had
I do
women
feel like
coming
the bomb.
back.
Like that's the moment I go, oh,
I've got
this is me. This is my. This is. It's sort of, and it. I don't want to get too fluff, but it's like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This was the information I was supposed to be delivering to these people today, and I just feel like that's my. I get into that place in the world.
Okay, so here's something you might all want to hear, and I think it's really valuable at this point in the conversation, that is the point when Jodie is most confident in herself, and yet 10 minutes before she gets on stage is probably one of the lowlights, That's when we go into panic mode. That's when we go into, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. The fear sets in, the self-doubt. But and then confidence comes from that, right? It's all part of the process.
I think it is part of the you have to have those moments to push through to get the high, to get the
it's practice. And as we said, it's a skill, right?
It is
so to get to that, to mastering that skill of confidence and standing up on that stage and knowing that you are in the right place at the right time, there's a whole process you need to go through, and you work on your techniques and you draw on the tools that you have to get you to that point. And there's so much value in that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so tell us about a time when you had really low confidence, and what did you do to build yourself back up after that?
Low confidence. Well, I guess like everyone, there's been some significant lows.
Yeah, we all go there.
Because that's just, and that's what RiSe Women is about. I mean, what we teach and what, our whole conversation is that the low confidence moments happen, and they happen all the time.
To everybody.
Like last week, Monday and Tuesday for me was a struggle, but then Friday I was on top of the world because I'd started coaching with a new client, and she was awesome. She got these really great breakthroughs. So it happens like within a week there can be the highs and lows of confidence, and that's the point of what we always say. It's managing the low confidence and managing the roller coaster of confidence rather than...
And knowing that you've got those techniques handy.
That's
to
right.
Call on them when you need them.
Yeah, absolutely. But, after about a year after my second child was born, I struggled. There was a real low... I'd lost my way. I had a toddler and a newborn or a 1-year-old. It was like... I didn't have any business stuff going on. I wasn't coaching. I wasn't speaking. I'd taken, some time off to focus on the kids. And,
so it was all about
and to be honest, I don't
and
even know
baby
how
food.
people necessarily sometimes do that juggle of toddlers and business. It wasn't something I could get my head around.
Yeah.
But I'd really lost a sense of me, I think, in that. And what I did about, like, whenever I've gone through, I guess, a period of low confidence or something, I've got myself into a real rut.
Yep.
I know that I force change. Like I really know that I have to take responsibility for where I'm at, and I have to do something different to get a different outcome.
Right.
So I often, like, as you know, I'm always reading like different books and things, but I will go and probably do a significant personal development course and get new perspective and new thinking and new ways to look at it all. Sometimes I've done some counselling and had to get, again, new perspectives, different ways of looking at things to help change the view of it.
Yeah.
But I also make sure, again, I look at the confidence techniques and check who's in my inner circle. Like, who am I connecting with? Who do I need to bring more positive people in, or do I need to switch any of that up? And then I generally do something to really push myself outside my comfort zone and feel like start achieving things again and feeling that
I think that's why so many mums with little kids feel like that, and so many women go through that phase, is because who you've got in your inner circle and what you're doing to build your confidence is so, so crucial. And when your focus is just 2 little kids or 3 little kids or 1 little kid, there is no one else in your inner circle, really. You connect with people here and there, and there's mum groups, and there may be a husband or a mum or whatever, but that inner circle, the people that really drive you, are little people who don't really interact with you much at that stage.
Yeah.
And you do need more. You need to draw on people who can give you that boost.
Well, it's getting back into, I just need to start achieving almost my dreams again. So obviously at times I've, picked up the business again and started working on that and different things. But it's like getting something back for me. I needed to just and feel like I'm achieving in that. Like, as we talk about all the time, like you've got to be in action. You've got to be achieving again. There's no, it's sort of taking away, again, doing those things that create new thinking and new perspectives and whatever, but then pushing that comfort zone again and whether it's like you join a gym and start, feeling your body change, or feeling like you achieved because you made it there once a week, or even the smallest things that you can start congratulating yourself with, to go, oh, I set that goal and I did it.
Yeah.
Even those small things really get me out of that rut of a low confidence and start building it back up again. And I'm always, I surround myself, as we know, with books and good music, and I just start bringing everything, start really doing like a check on every area of my life, and go, right, what can I do in this area to make this change or make this better, or
So of all the things that you'd be doing, because I've known you for a while now, and I know that there are lots of different techniques that you pull on, and there are lots of different ways that you work on building your confidence. What's something that you do that benefits keeping your confidence levels high consistently? Something that you've kind of incorporated into your daily routine that allows you to maintain a certain confidence level?
Well, I get my hair cut and dyed every 6 weeks without fail. Yeah, sometimes it goes to 7, but 6 weeks is, and I know that sounds but that makes me feel good about myself. Like, just
it's a little confidence hit.
It's just, I as anyone who's ever looked at our Instagram page or whatever, which I always share my hairdressing plights on, like, I love red hair, but that's me. Yeah. So I get a bit of me back. I get that bit of, I like bright red hair and a bit funky and a bit something about it, but there's a bit of that boosts my confidence again, because I feel like me again. Yeah. And as you know, I always get dressed. And again, I know that sounds, but I guess on a daily technique, I do not, I've had a home office for, almost 15, oh God, my goodness, 20, maybe coming up to 20 years now. Yeah. I always get dressed. I do not work in pajamas.
True story.
I do not work, I put makeup on most days. Yep. I put my earrings on most days, especially if I'm doing a Zoom call or a coaching client. But, and I used to get out a lot more and do a lot more networking stuff. But even that, I get dressed to go out and actually connect with people. All those things, especially when you're a work from home business
Yeah.
or have a home office, you need to focus on getting dressed, feeling like that
Yeah.
feeling like you're that corporate woman or that business woman, and getting out. And
It's about transforming your mindset, isn't it?
It is.
It's about putting
So
yourself in that right frame
there
of
is no
mind.
way I could coach in my pajamas or
No.
just out of bed or like, no. So they're probably my daily, and, you know, again,
Yeah.
it's like feeling good on the outside or feeling good, but never ever working in pajamas.
And I guess they're like, they almost become no-brainers, right? So it's not something that you need to think about anymore. You've just incorporated that into your daily routine. It's not.
Well, I just
the hair
used to
gets
try
done every
it.
6 weeks.
I did it, and then I'm not productive. I don't feel like a businesswoman when I'm in pajamas and my sneakers or my tracksuit.
Yeah.
No, I want to wear those when I'm comfy watching Netflix at home, or, you know, that's not businesswoman mode. That's not I'm running a business or I'm coaching a new client or you can't. That doesn't work. They're two separate things.
Makes a big difference.
And it does switch my mindset, over.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take it back a notch. We know what you do to keep your confidence levels high. But look, the reality is we all experience negative thinking and self-doubt at times, usually more often than not, which is terrible. Even when you are achieving, self-doubt and negative thinking can come in and start to, get a grip on you. What do you do to manage it when that sneaks up?
Well, firstly, I relate to it as normal, which
Yeah.
I know sounds strange, but you know what? It is normal.
Yeah.
And sometimes the aha moment for our clients is that they get that the negative thinking is normal. There's nothing wrong with negative thinking. It's just what you do about it at that point. And
that idea of this being something wrong with it, it sends them into a spiral, doesn't it?
Well,
because then they think there's something wrong with them, and it just keeps going down.
So I actually relate to the negative thinking and self-doubt. I relate to it as a byproduct of playing the game of life that I play at the level I play it at. So, I sometimes say, like, if you exercise, you expect sore muscles, right?
Yeah.
You expect that.
It's part of the game.
Especially if you're pushing beyond, if you lift a weight that you haven't lifted, that's heavier than or you're pushing the boundaries of the exercise, you will be sore the next day. We know that, right?
Yeah.
We know.
And it's just accepted. Everyone knows it,
That's
and
right.
it's part of the process.
So I treat negative thinking and self-doubt the same. It's a byproduct. If I'm pushing the boundaries of my comfort zone, which I'm often doing and doing new things, then I expect negative thinking and self-doubt to show up. Now, they show up. It's not a problem. It's what I do with that.
Yeah.
I don't relate to them as...
But you're ready for it.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
And I don't relate to them as the truth or reality. I just relate to them as I've pushed the levels of or I'm about to push the boundaries of my comfort zone and try this. Oh, here's that natural negative talk, self-talk, whatever. And then what I do to manage it is I often try to get perspective, and I talk to you and you don't let me buy into it, like we've said before. I go, oh my God, I've got to give up everything. And you're like, yeah, okay. Let's can we have a coffee and move on now, please? I ensure positive people are around me who are playing the same level of life as me. Like don't get advice from someone who's we say that all the time. Yeah,
don't we?
not
Like we
doing
get parenting advice from people who don't have kids.
Get surrounded by people who are positive and going, yeah,
Playing
I'm
the
building
same
business
game.
too, and I'm like up for,
Yeah.
And sometimes I actually set a future date. So I play this game with myself that if I'm like, especially if I'm like, oh, the business is too hard, it's all too hard, I got one like on the social media. And then the negative thinking starts, you're not cut out for this, all that, and the self-doubt. Then I go, okay, so I'm not going to think about this. I'm going to keep going for another month, and then I'll question whether I should buy into these thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I actually, but the
So you don't let it stop you.
Well, I don't try to change. I just go, okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think about all these I'm not going to buy into this or question that the self-doubt has you question everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that off for a month or 2 months, or I'll just keep going till Christmas. And then, so the one, the bit of the wobble I had last week, I was like, literally, I'm going to keep going till Christmas, and then I'm going to like
revisit it then.
But by then it'll be something completely different, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that I've put it off to another date seems to trick I'd almost like tricking my mind into there's this future date that I'll think about that, but I'm too busy today to think about
Today I'm getting into action about making things happen. I love that. That is very cool.
That's my little
That
mind
is
trick
very
of
cool.
myself.
I might have to adopt that one. I've never thought of that one, but I like it. All right. So you and I both have preteens, which is, as we know, both. It's lots of fun, ladies.
2 weeks. 2
Oh,
weeks,
you've
and
got
I've got a teenager.
I know. Me too. In like a month. They're teenagers,
Yes.
13-year-old daughters. We both know it's a very volatile time. These girls are trying to find themselves. And as a woman, you know, you're finding yourself all your life. But it's trickier for these women, these girls, because they have hormones and everything. And, you know, they're really on a self-discovery journey at the moment. So different to the one we had when we were teenagers, right? Because they have to navigate this social media. The world's a different place. And I think it's harder for them to see through all the noise and find something really valuable to hold on to. So what's the one thing that you would want your daughter to know now that you wish you'd known as a teenager, but in regards to confidence specifically?
I think like the biggest turning point, which as I was introduced to these books and different things as a teenager, as sort of, you know, mid to late teens, the biggest shift for me was that just because I have a thought does not make it true.
Right.
And once I got that concept, that was life-changing. And I do hope that's the to get that as early as possible, to get that concept and understand it as early as possible, I think is the game changer for hopefully for teenagers. That just
don't believe everything
it's
you
not
think.
don't believe everything you think. Like it's just not, just because you had a thought does not make it true. And that I guess the work that you put into mindset, you know, just like working on negative beliefs and limiting beliefs or negative thinking, the skill that you to learn and manage to control your mind is absolutely the best skill you will ever learn in your life. So the earlier you can do that, and as much as it's, you know, great to learn everything they learn at school, and I know there are some programs now that support the thinking stuff, but to learn to manage their mind would be the best skill that they learn as teenagers.
They can take it through with them for their entire life.
You need that for everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I think I'd say that the popular girls at school mean shit when you left school. Like, just
that's
don't.
so true.
I don't think it seemed, you know, and I wasn't in the popular group at school, but like it seemed like that was like the setup for life. And it was
That
not.
was the ultimate
It was
goal.
not the setup for life. Like I just wish anyway, it's always that. Wish I'd had my brain now on a, you know, 15-year-old body.
We would have done things very differently. But then again, we may not have been where we are now because it's all part
that's
of the
right.
process.
But it's
You've got to
just
figure it
sometimes
out.
I think like there's always the cool group or the popular group that just doesn't
Means
mean
nothing.
anything once you leave school. It just anyway. So that's what I hope she gets. I hope and I'm already
And you're working
drumming
on it.
drumming stuff into her. But
Definitely.
that's what I wish I knew as a teenager.
Yeah, that's very cool. All right, so now we're going to get into some short, quick answers, right? So
Okay.
it's going to be a real
Our power questions.
snappy, power questions. So I'm going to hit you with a question, and then you just hit me with your answer.
Okay, all right.
All right. What do you wish every woman knew?
I wish every woman knew how strong they actually are, that they don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah.
I wish they just knew. I wish everybody, and some people do know this, but I wish every woman knew that they can create the life and the confidence levels that they want, but it's not going to get handed to them. If they don't, like they have to make it happen. And if they don't take control of their life and their confidence levels and how that looks, then they're just going to end up being an extra in someone else's movie.
That's not what you want to be. You want to be the
No.
headline.
That's right. You want to be the star of your own life,
Yeah, absolutely.
not the extra in somebody else's life. And
Totally.
I wish that's what I want every woman to know.
Awesome. What is your superpower?
My superpower.
Yeah.
Have you watched Dead to Me? You haven't watched
No,
it
I
yet.
don't think I
Anyway,
have.
there's a really great line in it, and that I've been seeing pop up because it is a really great line. It's one of those, and I was like, that's me. But it was like, it's like read the room.
Yeah.
I can read the room.
Right.
And I don't know whether that came from, I worked in big hotels and ran big banqueting, big convention centers, and I had to be able to read the room and know when things were going to end. Yeah. But I am, and even on the weekend we were standing at my son's soccer game, and I could read that there was a woman who I didn't know, she was on the opposition team, standing like a couple of meters up from me, and I could see that there was something wrong with her daughter. There was something not right. She couldn't. And I went over and I said, "Are you looking for the bar?" Like, I didn't know whether the daughter needed to go to the toilets or whatever. And she said, "Oh no, she needs to sit down on whatever." But the grass was all wet and muddy. Like, anyway, so I got one. I had a poncho thing that so I said, but I could read. I can sort of almost like see when someone needs something before they even ask for it. Like, I think that's my superpower.
Cool.
I'm always getting stuff, as we talked about before. I can see that woman is not going to be able to reach that can of beans.
So I'll just get it for her before she asks for it. Yeah.
So I'm always almost jumping in to help people. I'm a helper in that way.
Yeah. Well, look at RiSe Women.
Yes,
right?
well, that's true.
Okay.
But even in that, I think I think the superpower I have in that is just I can hear the words and hear the limiting beliefs.
Even if they can't.
Because they're just used to saying things that they say, and I can like grab onto it and go and sort of like feed it back to them, and they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I actually think like that." But that, we often say a lot of words that without actually noticing what they mean when you,
and the impact that they have.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All right, heels or flats?
Oh my God, is that even a question? Heels, of course,
Awesome.
all the time.
Now, I know there might be a few of these, but tell me, what is your favorite quote or rule that you live by?
Oh, there's so many. My favorite is everything is working out perfectly. Mm-hmm. I say that mantra to myself all the time, especially at 3 a.m. when the
world is falling
apart. Because it just calms my nerve that everything that's happening is working out perfectly. I don't know how it's going to look perfect, but it's all going to be perfect. It's just all going to be perfect, which actually, anyway, this is not a quick answer, so I'll give you this quick story.
Right.
I actually had that when I was traveling. I think I was about 27.
Yeah.
I was traveling America by myself for 8 weeks.
Wow.
And there was lots of outside my comfort zones.
Yeah,
it was lots of scary moments of getting off buses, trying to find accommodation. There's lots. And that was my mantra that I used that the whole way around America.
Yeah.
To calm the fear. And I still have used it. Yeah, I still use it to this day.
Love it. What are your backup ones?
Look, as I say all the time, the one my mum used to always say, which was, you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
I think if you believe that, then you take some level of responsibility that you set the boundaries. I think that's that. So when things aren't going, you have to take the responsibility of what boundaries did I not uphold, or how did I let that. And the other one is just to take take full responsibility, take 100%. Like, I think that's my go-to.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean take blame. It doesn't mean to accept,
it's the power.
Something that someone else has done. It's about your ability to respond, right?
That's
We've
right.
spoken about this before.
Yeah. It's just having the power. If it's 100% my responsibility, then I've got 100% control. Yeah, I can change it. Yeah. So if it's someone else's, then the control's given to them. So it's better to take 100% responsibility.
Well, you can't change what other people can do, but you can change how you react to it.
That's right. Not that I do that all the time, but sometimes.
We're all a work in progress. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, tell me, who inspires you and why?
Oh,
it's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I'm inspired a lot by clients, like probably because I get to, again, sort of see intimately what they're doing and the changes they're making, and hear the struggle that what they need to do to change the negative thinking, their resilience, their tenacity, their just commitment to create the life they want. Yeah. But out in the world, I'm inspired by people where I see mental toughness, where I see people that they work hard to maintain, just strength of mind and keep tenacity and keep people who keep trying no matter how many times they fail.
They're fighters.
That inspires me. I love those sort of stories or that sort of
and we know this because there are like dozens of books in our office.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, stories of people who have made it, but not easily.
No.
People who have had to work really hard for what they wanted.
Reading a book about someone who made it easily, not that I've ever found one, but because nobody wants
true.
to write a book about that person. It's not really interesting.
And no one will believe it.
And
because
no one
the
would
reality
believe
is
it.
everything takes hard work,
No,
right?
that's right.
All right. We're going to wrap it up. Tell me, how would you finish this sentence? If I had even more confidence than I do now, I would?
If I had more confidence than I do now, I would teach myself Facebook advertising.
I didn't expect that one.
Oh, my goodness. It seems like just at the moment, that is such a hard hurdle to climb. I will do it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure when, but
I know you will.
I will do it. But if I had more confidence, I'd probably jump into that at the moment. But I'll have to build myself up and change my perspective and surround myself with the right people to make that happen. And maybe I'd get a tattoo. I'm not sure.
Oh, funny you should mention that because I got 2 last week.
I know. You have to wait for your interview.
I know. We'll give you more information on that later on. Right. So I think this has been amazing. I think we've all gotten to know a bit more about Jodie, and the beauty of it is I've known her for years and I learned things that I didn't know.
Oh, good.
So it's been lots of fun. Thank you so much for giving us some insights into what makes you tick and, what's gotten you and RiSe Women to where it is now.
Great.
I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have.
Do you have any last comments that you'd like to leave us with?
No, just thank you for being my business partner, being a great podcast interview. Is that the first time you've interviewed anyone?
Yes.
There you
for
go.
anything ever.
For anything ever.
So
well, there you go.
Fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've just done it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Ladies, if you loved what you heard, then guess what? I'm being interviewed soon.
Yes.
Jodie will be interviewing me, so stay tuned. We'll be interviewing lots of other amazing women as well, and there'll be lots of other podcasts. So don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, a rating, whatever you'd like to do, comment, send us your feedback. We're happy to accept all of it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And anything,
as always,
and
for
also
listening.
to like direct messages or do something.
Yeah,
if
we'll
there's
take it
topics,
all.
if there's topics you want to hear that we haven't touched on, or where you're finding particular challenges with your confidence, please send us ideas. Please send us those, because we'd love to create those podcasts specifically for our audiences, exactly what you want to hear. So
Definitely.
We'd love it.
Excellent. Thank you, Jodie. Thanks, everyone. Until next time, remember, be you. We like her best.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.